fantastic host. Like she's just the most magnificent host ever. Like you go to Vicky and
Katrina,
Katrina's 2 days. You need to like take 2 days to rest your systems because you have such a great time. A really fierce side of Kriti, which I was, you don't usually describe her like that. But Karthik was just, he's like, मैं सिर्फ 1 घंटा दूंगा and I will not be like. I want to tell everybody that Karthik Aryan has the level and the sense of humor to do a 6 hour stand up and you will not get bored of the guy. He is so funny.
for all film related interviews, reviews, and content, please like and subscribe to Pooja Talwar. You can also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. Neha, lovely to see you and many, many congratulations, 6th season.
Yes, we try. Likewise, it's so nice to see you. Every time I'm like, okay, I'm going to be speaking to Pooja, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be a great chat. And trust me, after 6 seasons, I know a good chat when it's a good one and when it's not.
Thank you so much. But I am not as unfiltered and as candid as you, and nor am I as witty and confident. But amazing. When you first came on board, if you could just like go back your first season and guess what was it that you were feeling, because now you were just you could just be sitting on your couch and just talking to anybody. What was that like now when 6 years ago and your first guest?
I'm gonna actually go to season six first, the first recording of season six. It's never that it's going to be okay because you're going to do this one time, you're making a show, and you have to always set yourself apart from someone, who's a journalist like yourself, to like somebody who's, I'm not here to write a gossip column. I'm also trying to differentiate between the information I have versus the information even I want to share about them. So, I'm always walking on eggshells because there are things that I already know, but I want everyone else to know via them and not via me. So yeah, it's a tough one. This time, the first season, this time in the sixth season, for the first episode, we actually had Shahid on air, but we were recorded with Tiger. That was hilarious because, we prepped for everything. And I'm like, I'm producer, we're going video, da da da. We got this beautiful studio. Mumbai being Mumbai, nothing goes wrong as far as electricity is concerned. As soon as he comes in, he's like, I don't have too much time. I have an hour to record. And I'm like, fair enough. Thank you for making that hour for me. We're going to make sure that we have, thank you for making that hour for me. We're going to make sure that we have enough quality time. And boom, we enter the elevator, we get stuck. Yeah. And I'm just stuck. And I'm just stuck. And I'm like, what is this? Are we cutting out all the other bad omens or what's going to happen? Because, when you have 90 minutes of content you wish to record, you have 60 minutes with the guy. And I'm just like, and I started like, I was almost delirious. And he was like, are you okay? And in my head, I was like, I'm not okay. Because when we come out of this elevator on the other side, your manager is still going to turn around and tell me you have 40 minutes left. And Tiger, of course, was very cool. And he was like wearing his dark glasses and he's like, बहुत अंधेरा है. I'm like, yeah, we're stuck in an elevator. अंधेरा तो बहुत है. But yeah, everything can go right and everything can go wrong. I was also feeling very rusty because, we are in season six, but we've taken 2 years off in the middle because the last time we recorded was 21, the last time we launched actually. And now, we're here. But the first ever recording, to answer your question, how it happened, how it came up. The show came up literally because, I happened to be at this cafe and then we were in this parking lot and the owner of JioSavan was standing there as well. And he was like, you make really fun conversation. Why don't you have a show? And I'm just like, who on earth is going to make a show with me? And he was like, I'm here in India for a little while. Why don't you come back and give me a presentation? I'd never made a talk show. I'd never made a presentation in my life before because this is what we do, right? We go to college so that we unlearn everything we know. We don't go to college to learn anything because that's what we do. And I asked him how long is long in India, and he was like 6 hours. I was like, wait a minute, what? So it was 3 in the afternoon. I had till 9 o'clock at night. I went back with something called a deck and a presentation. And then I was just like, I'm not opening this gadget to show anything. I'm just going to tell him what I want to do. And he's like, what do you want to do? I said, I just want to have a fun chat with my famous friends. Is that allowed? He's like, yeah, I'm buying it. That's it. So the show came out. And yeah, season six, over 8 years.
But it's interesting, over the years, also the celebrities and how they communicate with the media has also changed. I'm sure you've noticed that too. You know, Earlier, I thought they were a little more candid.
Not always for the better, because people are very caged and very guarded now.
Yeah. So have you seen that? Because sometimes they weigh their words. I've seen lately they weigh their words because anything they say, anything they want will become a headline. So I do see them walking on eggshells, which I have noticed from the time I started, you know. So have you also observed that, or do you feel that it depends upon the host and they just calm down with you?
So, a bit of it, Pooja, of course, is comfort. Like, I'm super comfortable with you. I've known you for so many years, and I know that you can, egg me onto saying things. But it also works in reverse, because you know me. You'll be like, hey, I don't want to like throw her under the bus, and I don't want her to be in a situation where she's answerable to more people just because she's answering one question of mine. So, it's always this thing that should I not? And more often than not, the answer is you should not, because you need to turn around and be exceptionally nice to people who trust you and who've shown this friendship and who've made time and taken half a day to come with like hair, makeup, getting dressed, taking time out, all of that. Having said that, yeah, I mean, I feel like the air has changed a lot. People get picked on a lot more than they should. I feel like the more famous you are, the less you get away with things that you say. And the things that you say, no matter, and it's the way of the world, and it's also the English language or any spoken language. Everything has two meanings. So, if I turn around and I don't know, say, Pooja, this was a great interview and I'm done. I'm done could be I'm done with you, and I'm done could be like I'm done with a great interview.
Yeah.
What do you do? I mean, I'm stating a very simple example because I had to come up with something really simple to explain myself. But I feel so, sometimes I see like a makeup tutorial going wrong, or then I see something that, even in my case, a statement I believe in, and I say that, hey, living your life as a woman is about making choices and following them, is totally taken out of context and, it's blown out of proportion. But it's like you wake up and you feel something is wrong with the world today if people are not, like you almost feel like not wrong. I'm going to rephrase that. You wake up and you breathe a sigh of relief because you're like, someone's not getting attacked or getting trolled. You're like, good, we're all good, and this is great. And social media is a happy place, and you're seeing like cute dogs and mommy and baby videos and fashionable people or summer holiday planning and things like that. And 2 in the afternoon, someone's getting trolled for saying something again. You're like, why is this happening? So yeah, you have to be careful. I also have very consciously worked with a younger crew. So I'm 43 now, and I don't know a lot of lingo. I don't know things that can get canceled, can't get canceled. I think that, things like speaking your mind is appropriate, but them getting backfired is something that, so I want to kind of put myself as a host also under the scanner. And then, from my director to my writer to everybody, they're all like, I'm like, you're hired, like under 25, under 28, you're all hired because you all know the language.
Absolutely. Like, I didn't know what Netflix and chill meant until someone told me it had a sexual innuendo. I had no clue. For me, it was just something innocent. Popcorn liya, chai pee, and Netflix and chill. And so a 28-year-old told me this is not it.
Of course. Or like, we have Karina's episode dropping right now, and there was this fun abbreviation that I kept using, and we were having fun, and we both were having a laugh, and then my director came and called me and she said, this is not going to fly because every abbreviation on most days has a dual meaning. But I was like, but I'm using it very obviously in the conversation. She's like, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And that's like 15% of great 15% of great content had to be taken and parked aside. And I feel that for the betterment of everyone's existence, it's a good thing that it got taken out, so, and I would have never known. Yeah, because we were used to speaking like, and we found pride in speaking more than, 9-letter words, and we were like, oh, very interesting. यहाँ पे तो कोई के बाय पता नहीं कुछ कल भी मैंने सुना था फिंस्टा भी कुछ होता है फिर कुछ और भी होता है फिर कुछ और भी होता है. So you're like, yeah.
Totally. And
Yeah, and I said something like, it's like, hey, I wished you, and I wrote on your wall. And they were like, what? It's not a wall. Like, you don't. And I thought I was being cool, but apparently it's like a thing of the past. You've got to write, like, there's, I don't know. I don't know. It makes me
Totally.
nervous.
And also, Neha, it's interesting. Like, I've known you for years. You were you've grown up in a non-celebrity atmosphere, but today your kids are kids of celebrity parents. And this constant scrutiny, as somebody said, recent wedding, you have celebrities traveling by bus and everyone's talking about it. Why can't we accept the fact that celebrities do normal things? They have come from a very normal environment and they do normal things. Does it now baffle you seeing your kids being like tapped all the time?
No, I get off from a luxury car every morning. And I never grew up in a luxury car. I grew up on like a scooter or my dad's motorbike. And when I was born, my dad had one of those YesD ones where I was on the fuel tank. And then it was okay to be within the defense area, having two kids, growing up on just two-wheelers, and we're fine. It's absolutely normal. That's the upbringing I've had. I've never sat in an airplane till I didn't get signed for my first music video. I'd never traveled abroad. I didn't know. Like, they were like, I still remember the first time when I got my first assignment in Delhi. It was a music video for Euphoria, and my dad was like, oh, you're getting to travel abroad? And I was like, yes, Papa. And it's like, you're going to be your first stamp on your passport. I'm like, yeah, and we're going to travel by air. And we were like figuring out ways, because there was no YouTube, on how to tie the seatbelt. Luckily, the person on the plane, I saw his name, and there was his full name, and the last name said Dhupia. I'm like, we're definitely related. I'd never traveled on a plane. I had, never been abroad. I'd grown up on a two-wheeler. I'd had my most formative years were as a good 4G kid, and I take extreme pride in that. But I'm still that good 4G kid, because I get off a luxury car at about 7:38 in the morning, and I go to my fruit wala, and I'm always bargaining because I find mangoes very expensive, and then I'm just like, yeah, apple ka bhav kam karo. So I'm still doing normal things, and even he tells me, he's like, yeah, madam, aap bhi picture mein kaam karte. I say, to kya ho gaya? You still have value for money, and you're doing normal things. And sometimes my children see me doing all these things, and I'm like, no wastage, or we go half and half, and two bananas are not split one and one. First you do half, then how many ever pieces you want to eat, and then we go for more. It's like, we don't hold back, but at the same time, we don't waste anything. And I just feel like that's not a way, though. That's not 2 steps back in your life. That's 4 steps forward. There's no wastage. You're so good for the environment. It's great on the pocket. But yes, coming back to celebrities doing normal things, yes, everybody does the most normal things. I wish you can have, you could have a peek into the lives of every celebrity out there. Trust me, we are we're used to great bargains. That's as much as I can say.
Awesome. Now, coming to your guests, who actually has been your most challenging? But some of them are so quiet that it's very difficult to make them, basically let loose and come up.
You mean this season? Yeah, this season, right? So yeah, I'll give you an overview. Let's talk about this season. So then, we finished shooting for it. I mean, and me being the skeptical me, I only scream from rooftops once the job is done. But there was, we had Katrina, we had Kriti, Rashmika, Ananya, we had Vicky, we had Karthik, we had Shahid and Tiger. So so the way I reach out to people is that I keep calling them and saying, come. Some say yes, some take time. Also because they have busy schedules, and some say that we don't have too much to talk about, maybe another time. So the hearing the no's are very hard for me because I'm not used to it. So it takes me like at least a good 5 minutes to get over the fact that, okay, but it's fine. But I really appreciate the ones who rock up. And this, I feel like it's also about, getting the ensemble right. You can't have two people talking about similar struggles, or you can't have two people talking about the same thing. You want to have people talk about similar things like business, movies, whether it's cancel culture, nepotism, all of that, but address it differently, because people's, lives are there. You use your life as your biggest learning. Now, so with Rashmika, I DM'd her on Instagram. And I mean, it came through, and this was right, like, in the midst of Animal being a mega hit and her going and shooting Pushpa 2. And I was just like, I don't think my season is complete if I don't shoot with you. And she was just like, oh my God, you're so sweet. And then she came and sat in front of me, and I was like, and then I introduced her, and it was literally the first time I was talking to her, because I also take pride in the fact that I'm friends with everyone and it's very comfortable and I can go out and talk to people. But in her case, it was great because I was so interested in listening to her, because I was getting to know her for the first time. And that was nice. But I had a feeling that maybe it could, to answer your question, maybe it could have gotten hard if I didn't, if I hadn't done my research like I did. But then, she was very friendly, very chill, totally like cool. I also saw a really fierce side of Kriti, which I was, you don't usually describe her like that. It's very nice to see her. Of course, we had our fun moments, and then I love my chat with Shahid. Vicky, I couldn't keep a straight face because we know each other really well. But Karthik was just, he's like, "Main sirf ek ghanta dunga," and I will not be like, shooting longer than that. We hung out, we had a chat, we had a laugh for 3 hours. Karthik was just his usual self. And yeah, I mean, Karina was super easy because we're friends, and, our kids. It was great because with Karina, it was just like her episode is dropping now. And right before that, also our boys are like, so they say besties. They're very cute, and both of them were like, okay, yeah, he said we're both looking at our phones and our cameras. Okay, he's fine. And next 2 hours they're busy with this class, they're busy with this class. And she's like, okay, now 6 o'clock the class will finish, we should finish our interview and go. I was just like, yeah, thank you. Because yeah, I feel like everyone gets everyone. So yeah, I mean, getting people to talk. Tiger talks less, and but he has some really fun stories. It was nice for him to like, and I also feel like I broke the ice with Tiger because we got stuck in the elevator. I'm like, what else do you do? Like, but the darkest hour is behind us. So then let's just get past this conversation.
Awesome. Also, and I'll come back to your guests again, but now on the work front, exciting times for you. You're doing a film, an international movie. What can you tell us about that? This being your first one, is it?
Yes, and I mean, a long time ago, I'd also done a international show where I was a small part called Bollywood Hero. But it's nice, it's legit. I have a really interesting part. I'm one of the leads. There are three leads. I'm one of them. The other one is Adil Hussain, and then there's a young, new, talented boy who's cast. Two of them actually. He's the one who ages and stuff. So, it's I don't have much information except that it's going to be releasing soon. Also, the other piece of information that I have on the film is that I literally had to pinch myself when I was just like, I got the part. And then it's exciting also, Pooja, because, I just feel that there's this constant thing in my head that I feel like I go ahead and do everything, but this constant, I don't know whether it comes from what I feel about others or what others feel about me, or what I feel about myself. I don't know which way it works, but the need to constantly like prove myself. I feel like I've done so much, but at the same time, I feel there's so much more to do. But it's constantly like, either it's too soon, or, like podcasts. What I was the one who kind of started it 8 years ago versus, doing like interesting OTT kind of cinema when there was no OTT, or the timing of it is right or wrong. But it's the constant need to like keep doing stuff. And, I just feel that now what I'm doing is that, and this is something that I learned from my husband, that it's okay as an actor to go ahead and just preserve yourself. So when you get a great part, go ahead and do everything that you need to for that part. And when you're not happy, see what you got at home. Like, with me and like the kids and my husband, I feel like between Angad and our children, I've learned how to like, be okay with taking time off. I'm okay with not working. When I'm at work, I'm not okay with not doing 300%. You know how it is? Like, I feel like my mental space has changed, but I'm also a little like, the constant is always trying to prove yourself, and it gets exhausting after a while. Like, I'm feeling it.
No, I totally get that. And you also
Sorry to
have
interrupt, Pooja ma'am. Can
therapy
we just take
sharing.
one last question, please? We have other interviews lined up.
Okay, can I I know. Just give me 2 questions. Sorry. If you can just extend the time. 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Sorry. See, she said yeah. Okay. Also have therapy, and you have one with Vicky and Tripti. What can you tell us about that?
That comes out sometime late summer, but I'm not sure. I feel like, it's the big ticket films that, one doesn't have any knowledge or control of. So you are a part of it, and then, you kind of move in and away from it till it finally comes out. But I think that it's sometime then. It's got Tripti and Vicky and Amy in the lead. And then there's also Therapy Sherapy. It's a show on mental health. It's a comic drama and family drama, and dealt in a very fun way. And I find that very interesting and topical because, it's nice. People are open now, they talk about mental health and they are taking therapy and they're okay talking about it. And, it's for the betterment of everything, the climate at home, the climate outside, all of it is fantastic. So it's nice and topical, and I'm hoping that when it comes out, people enjoy watching it.
So things that we do not know about your friends, you have to tell us one thing. Vicky Kaushal.
Oh my God. The beginning of the love story, you get to hear it on No Filter, Neha.
Katrina Kaif.
Fantastic host. Like, she's just the most magnificent host ever. Like, you go to Vicky and Katrina's 2 days. You need to like take 2 days to rest your systems because you have such a great time.
Kareena Kapoor Khan.
Micromanages everything from scheduling her son's calendar to like figuring out everything. She's just always, just when you think that, okay, she's this mega star and she'll have everyone doing things for her, she micromanages every little detail. And also doesn't sweat the small stuff. So she knows, she picks her battles. She hardly has any though. She's perfect.
Though I'm very curious about the Vicky love story beginning, but you know it all. You're not going to spill it all out for us.
Yeah.
Karthik, that you've spent that hour with him.
God, I want to tell everybody that Karthik Aaryan has the level and the sense of humor to do a 6-hour stand-up and you will not get bored of the guy. He is so funny.
Shahid.
Shahid, so many nice things to say about him. I mean, I feel like I've known him 26 years and he's all grown up now, if that makes any sense. Yeah.
It does. Okay, lastly, Rashmika and Kriti. And Tiger, 3 of them.
Okay, because they're on the show. Tiger, that he's a great storyteller. So you got to like, he makes it very graphic and he's a great storyteller. Also, very willingly flashes his abs, at least on our show. Kriti, she's become more fierce than I'd ever known her, and I love that. And who's the last one? Rashmika. Yeah. I mean, Rashmika, I just got to know her, super chill, very friendly. And I mean, I can only be thankful, grateful to the way she accommodated time. Also very busy, like her calendar is full up. So yeah. And also first ever chat show, Rashmika's first ever chat show. So yeah, watch it on No Filter.
All right, congratulations. Since the time is running out, I'm also like racing against time. All the very best. Here's to season 7 and much more work from Neha, my favorite person whom I've known for years.
Thank you very much, Pooja. Thank you. This is great chatting with you. Watch us on GeoTV. GeoTV. Watch, not just and the constant notifications are making me very nervous.
I know I was getting nervous too. Anyway, thanks so much. Hope to have a No Filter chat with you very soon myself.
If you've liked this interview, please like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram.